This is Philadelphia 76ers Now by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Senior. No matter where you are, how you're hanging out, we appreciate you for making today's show a part of your day and taking time out of your day to give us a try if you're new to the channel or you're a real one, obviously, if you've been subscribed for a while. Coming up on today's show, want to show our loyal viewers some love, and we're going to take our viewers and subscribers' most pressing questions, hot takes, as well as trade ideas. And look, this is why you subscribe. Because is there another Sixers channel on YouTube that's doing stuff like this where we open up the floor and do a mailbag? I don't think so. A lot of great content options out there, and they do some great work, but we're proud of what we do here on 76ers Now, so make sure you give us a follow and subscribe right now. Let's begin here with this one coming in from Tyler. Who should the 76ers trade for? Really, it comes down to what the Sixers want and what they feel as though they need. A lot of different varying reports out there. Is it going to be a star? Is it going to be a mid-level player? Is it going to be a bench piece? You look at the Sixers' top trade targets, and when we went through this list a little bit earlier this week, you have some stars here, and you have some impact players as well combined on this list. Dejounte Murray, very solid player, can play the 1 or 2, can defend at a high level. He can score from all 3 levels. Very, very good athlete. You have Alex Caruso, who's one of the best guard/wing defenders in the NBA, who can knock down the 3, but has added the arsenal of being able to put the ball on the floor. DeMar DeRozan lives in the mid-range, very good clutch scorer, not going to give you a lot on the defensive end. Bogdan Bogdanovic, some injury issues there, but I love his fearlessness and how he can knock down the triple very consistently. Tyus Jones, if you're looking for a backup point guard who has the best assist-to-turnover ratio in the NBA this year and over the last 5, he's really good. And then you look at more middle-of-the-road bench type of players who I think could fortify the depth on the Sixers team. Gordon Hayward, injury scared the heck out of me. Malcolm Brogdon can play the 1 or 2, backup point guard. He can score from all 3 levels. 6th man of the year last year. Buddy Hield, sniper, can't defend. Gary Trent Jr., kind of that 3-level scorer. Not the best defender in the world, but if you want some athletic upside, he gives you that. And then Sixers fans familiar with Alec Burks, who is also a really good scorer, who is very crafty with how he navigates around the floor to get to his spot to rise up for his shot. So what say you? Who do you think the Sixers should trade for? Gave you a couple of options there. Who are we missing? And let us know, because we might put that player on a future video. Caden English, Sixers, should we trade Tobias Harris or should we re-sign him in the offseason? What an interesting player Tobias Harris is. And started off well under Nick Nurse. Then he nosedived, and he was as cold as the Arctic. And then over the last couple of weeks, it really started when Joel Embiid was out of the lineup. He started to play a lot better. This year, numbers in total, almost 18 points per game, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, almost 52% on the field goal percentage, 37% from three-point range. Those raw numbers are pretty good when Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid have been playing like they've been playing. But he's always due for a clunker. And is that clunker going to come to the forefront when the Sixers can't afford to have it in the NBA playoffs? That has happened before. Over his last 10, he gives you these types of numbers, and this will certainly play, and he can be a very high-level impact player. 21 points per game, 6 rebounds, 52.5% from the floor, and almost 40% from 3. You get this type of Tobias Harris, and this is the type of Toby that Daryl Morey, Nick Nurse, might be reluctant to include in a trade. If you re-sign Tobias Harris, he's probably going to be cheaper than what he is right now. Awful contract by Elton Brand, regardless of how you slice it up. I've always said that Tobias Harris is a good player, but he's overpaid. He's probably on that new deal, going to get between $25, $30 million. Always available, very, very durable, can go cold in a big spot, but puts up solid numbers and is a great character guy. What would you do with Tobias Harris? Again, we're always valuing your feedback here on the show. T for trade, R for re-sign. Get in the shoes of Daryl Morey, let me know. Maurice Shaw, what is it going to take to realistically get Lauri Markkanen? I think it's going to take a first-round pick at the very least. And I don't know if Lauri Markkanen is going to get traded. The Jazz have indicated that they want a massive return, including 3+ firsts and high upside young players. So while I might be willing to give up 1 first, I'm not sure I'm giving up 3 first-round picks. And I think that asking price is obviously extraordinarily high, and I think it's a little bit too high. But look, when you're in a front office, or this is a good tip for anybody out there, you're asking for a new raise when you're going to negotiate with your bosses, you always start really high, and then you just come down from there. You start high and shoot for the moon, and then you come down at a number that you're cool with that more so is that realistic expectation, right? And for Markkanen, he's a good player. 24 points per game, 9 rebounds, 49%, and 39.5. Those are the shooting splits right there. I do think that because he can put the ball on the floor, he can create a little bit, and obviously he can stretch the floor as evidenced by the numbers. He can fit alongside Joel Embiid. A player like that I think would be amazing. Also gives you some length too to clog up the court. Unfortunately though, I just don't think he's going anywhere. You know where I'm going right after this show? To my fridge to get a Factor meal. And you can get 50% off when you use the code NBAChat50, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal delivery service. Everything is chef-prepared, dietitian approved. You can choose from dozens of meals every single week. And all you have to do, everything delivered straight to your doorstep, you take it out of the box, everything comes cooled. You don't have to freeze it because it's fresh, never frozen. You just stick it in the microwave. You're ready to rock. You could skip going to the grocery store, all of the meal prepping and meal planning because that takes so much time, and then all of the cleaning up as well. And you have a lot of different options you can choose from: breakfast, lunch, dinner, protein, keto, veggie. Get 50% off. factormeals.com/NBAchat50. Get started today. That link is down in the show notes right now. Pat Woolard with this one. I don't see us trading Tobias Harris, but if Cleveland wants to trade Donovan Mitchell, should we be interested in him? You know, that's pretty interesting. I don't love the backcourt fit between Donovan Mitchell and Tyrese Maxey, and you're basically just running it back with Darius Garland and Tyrese Maxey, but in Philadelphia. Or Tyrese Maxey, sorry. You're running it back with basically what we've been seeing from Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, and then the Philadelphia version of that would be Tyrese Maxey and Donovan Mitchell. 2 ball-dominant guards who both score at all 3 levels. I think we've become accustomed to seeing that Tyrese Maxey more of a volume scorer, and that's fine because he's very efficient, and I think he's actually more efficient than Donovan Mitchell. The current reports do indicate that the Cavs want to ride out this season with him, with Spida, D-Mitch, and they're not taking trade calls on him right now. He's always going to put up massive numbers because he's always chucking up a lot of shots. But how is that backcourt duo going to handle the NBA playoffs? I just don't have a lot of confidence in a deep run. And the New York Knicks, they were able to dispatch Cleveland in the playoffs last year. D-Mitch, 28 points per game this year, almost 6 assists, 45.5% from the floor. That's good, but 35% from 3. I don't love it. The contract actually isn't all that bad, but upon going to a new destination, because he never signed that extension long-term with Cleveland, you might have to give him another bag. $34 million the next 2 years is not all that bad, nor is a $37 million player option for a player who's still pretty young, but I just don't think the fit makes a lot of sense. Galaxy, a lot of Philly teams have been coming up short to win it all. Which Philly team do you think is closest / will win the next championship for the city? Well, I'll tell you this. I haven't gone back and watched the Super Bowl 57 highlights, Eagles-Chiefs, because I'm heartbroken about that game. I was there all week covering it, up close and personal, interviewing coaches, interviewing players. The hype was sky high, 10-point halftime lead, and they fumbled that game away, literally and figuratively. And I'll never get over that. And honestly, lifelong Philadelphia sports fan, and I remember watching the Big Four, Phillies, Flyers, Sixers, Eagles, since I was 4 years old. I've never been so confident in a team that was going to win it all than the Philadelphia Phillies. And then somehow they squander a 2-0 lead over the Diamondbacks in the NLCS and up 3-2. They lose games 6 and 7 at Citizens Bank Park when we were hyping that up to be, both nationally and locally, the best environment in all of sports. So I'll never get over that. And then you have the Sixers, who haven't made it past the second round since 2001. I like what John Tortorella and the Flyers are doing right now as they're exceeding expectations and they're ahead of track. I like the Keith Jones, Danny Briere front office tandem. They're trying to get that organization back to the glory days, but I don't think they're close. So I think right now it's the Phillies at number 1, and then kind of like the Eagles and Sixers are right on line there. Eagles are coming off a Super Bowl appearance, and the Sixers can't get past that second round, but I do like the construction of the Sixers team, and they are 5th in odds. And if you want a good value bet, 12-1, I don't think is awful right now. If the Sixers were to win and you put $1 down, you get $12 back. You put $2 down, you get $24 back. That's pretty good value there. I do think that the opening for an NBA championship is as open as it's been in recent memory, but the Sixers really just have to get over that mental hurdle, especially against a team like the Boston Celtics. Maya's World, always tuned in to 76ers Now, as well as Eagles Now. Thanks for being a real one. Markelle Fultz to the Sixers while the Magic get Korkmaz, Batum, and future firsts. I'm not giving up Batum at this point. I think he's too important to the Sixers team. He gives you a 3. Markelle Fultz does not. He might be able to strengthen your backup point guard situation, but those 3-point numbers, they've never recovered from that mysterious shoulder injury where he lost his confidence and his shooting form at Washington. Go back and watch Markelle Fultz's Washington highlight tapes. He was unbelievable, and he was definitely the number 1 player in college basketball that year. And then it all went down the toilet, and obviously for the Sixers, it sucked getting James Ennis back in that trade for a former number 1 pick, especially when you missed out on Jason Tatum as well. I think Batum, winning player that the Sixers should keep. I don't want to give him away, and Fultz, I don't think he's worth giving up those first-round picks at all. He's not even a part of that steady rotation with the Orlando Magic right now, because the Magic, although they've slipped down in the Eastern Conference standings a little bit, that's an upstart team in the NBA. If you want to get involved in the future and you have a Sixers question that you want answered, drop it in the comments. Use hashtag Sixers, because then we can get you featured right here on the show. And that's why you subscribe to the channel. We give you news, we give you analysis, we talk hoops, give you basketball breakdowns, we talk trade buzz, but also we take your questions because we want you to have a say right here on 76ers Now.